everybody, this is Ali from Vintage Page Designs. Today we're going to talk about paper grain as pertains to making handmade books. What we're going to cover in this video is what is paper grain, why paper grain is important, and how to determine paper grain. So first of all, what is paper grain? Well, in a commercially made piece of paper, the fibres run in one of two directions. They either run parallel to the long side, like this, or parallel to the short side, like this. In a handmade piece of paper, the fibres go in all different directions and it has no particular grain. You can actually see that really well on this piece. See how the fibres are all mixed up, all higgledy-piggledy. That means that it's handmade, so there is no grain. The fibres don't go in one way or another consistently. They're all sort of mixed up. But in commercially made paper, such as this piece of drawing paper, in cardstock, in book cloth, and also in bookboard, each of these has a particular grain. And when you go to buy paper, particularly online, it will tell you whether it's short grained, and that's when the fibres run parallel to the short side, or long grained if they run parallel to the long side. And that's important when you're buying paper and when you're planning projects. So why is paper grain important? Well, it really affects the outcome of your book and the level of craftsmanship in your book. And what you will be aiming for is to have the grain of your paper, or the direction of your fibres, going in the same direction as your spine, so parallel to the spine. So here's our spine. So our paper grain needs to be running this direction, and the book cloth we use needs to be running this direction. Same with this leather book. It's bound differently, but here's our spine, and all our pages run, the grain runs parallel to the spine of the book. And then in a more traditional bound book like this, here's the spine, our book cloth, our book board that was used, and the pages all run parallel to this spine. And if they didn't, the book wouldn't close properly, it would be warped, and it really wouldn't function correctly. And just to illustrate this point, here are two little notebooks that I made, just simple stitch notebooks, using this cardstock right here and this sketch paper right here. And what a difference. You can see how, however, I haven't even pressed this book, but this is the one that was made with both cardstock cover and inside pages will both run in parallel to the spine. Haven't even pressed this yet, and it shuts nicely. Whereas this one right here, it all goes against the grain, i.e. my grain is running in this direction and it just will not close. Even if I bone fold it like crazy, even if I put it under weights. I'm pressing really hard right now, my table is wobbling. There's just no way that is going to close. Whereas this one, it opens up a little bit, but once I put that under a weight overnight, it's going to be completely flat. So this will never sort of be redeemed, so perhaps you can see it a little better that way. But this is what happens when you make a book going against the grain. It will just never close properly. So now we know what paper grain is and why it's important. The next question is, how the heck do we determine it? Well, there are three different ways. The most common way, and the one I use the most, is by bending, or I like to think of it as bouncing the paper. You grab the paper by both sides and you gently push it together towards the centre in both directions. And the one that gives you least resistance is the grain. So this is giving me a lot of resistance. This is giving me very little resistance, so I know that the grain goes this way. However, let's just say you couldn't quite figure it out. You're like, yeah, I'm not sure. Another way to determine it, a second way, is by folding it. So let me fold in one direction. I don't know if you can see that, but it's quite it's broken along that edge. And then let me fold in the other direction. And it folds a lot more smoothly. I'm not even sure you can see that very well. This is my grain because it folds a lot more smoothly. Folding this direction against the grain, it breaks the fibres. Let me show you that on this piece of cardstock. It's a lot more evident, I think, just because of the colour. I'm going to fold it in one direction, and you can see, I think, quite well. Let me just bring it all closer, how it's cracked along that fold. And that is against the grain. When I fold it with the grain, I'm not even using a bone folder here, I'm just using my fingers. That crease is a lot sharper, and that means that's going with the grain. Let me just bring that a little closer so you can see with the grain and against the grain. So that is the second way to tell. And just an aside, often you'll buy paper that's either 8.5 by 11, like this piece, or 9 by 12, and often machine-made papers, the grain will run in the long direction, but often we really want to make books this size and signature covers this size folded this way, and it just doesn't work. So it's really good to plan ahead and buy paper. If you're going to make a book sort of this shape, to buy the paper that's grain short if you don't want to do a lot of cutting. So that's just something to keep in mind. So here my grain goes in this direction because it creases easily, and when I bend it, it bends more easily. And the same with this one, it goes in this direction because this is where the nice clean fold is. The same is true with bookboard. You bounce it and bend it. See, that bends easily in this direction. In this direction, I can barely move it. One quick tip about bookboard: you usually buy bookboard in large sheets. When you get a large sheet, grab your pencil, figure out the grain, and mark like 3 or 4 or 5 lines, so that when you cut it down into smaller and smaller pieces, you still know what the grain is, because as it gets small it can be harder to determine. But this is pretty clear, it's extremely rigid, and this way it bends. So if we were to make this book, we would cut our bookboard so the grain went in this direction. We would cut our paper so that it folded. We folded the signatures in this direction. Just so you can see it like this. So it would all go in the same direction as the spine. Say we were using a piece of cardstock, we would fold it so that it was parallel to this spine. And the same holds true with book cloth. Often the cloth will not show the selvage, so the grain of the book cloth goes parallel to the selvage, but sometimes that's cut off, so you'll have to do the bounce test. So this way it gives a lot less resistance, this way it gives more resistance. Or I could do a small fold. You can tell here that cracks. And in this direction it folds a lot more nicely and a lot easily. You can also visually see with this piece of book cloth, when I fold it this way, I don't get any cracking, but when I fold it this way, you can kind of see some bending and cracking. So the third and final way that you can determine paper grain is by spritzing, and this method is best used for very thin paper. With thicker paper, board and cloth, when you do the bending, the folding method, it's a lot easier to determine the grain. But with a thin piece of paper like this, bending like this, or even folding at the corner, can be a little tricky. So the best way to determine, well, one of the ways to determine paper grain with a thinner piece of paper is to spritz it with water. I'm just going to take this off camera and spritz it, otherwise this is going to go all over my paper. So just bear with me. I've just given this a very light spritz, and already you can see, look, it's rolling in this direction, which means that our grain runs parallel to alongside this direction. And I sprayed it super lightly with water, and this will dry really quickly. Obviously, if you're using an expensive, delicate paper, you're not going to spritz it with water, but for everyday sketch paper or mohawk paper, a little spritz is just fine. And if this gets a little wrinkled, you can always flatten it out afterwards, but generally they come in thick pads, so losing one sheet to determine the paper grain is actually a good investment, I think. So there you have it. We have talked about what paper grain is, which is the direction that the fibers run in machine-made paper, why it's important so that we get nice looking books, not books that open like this. And finally, I gave you 3 methods for determining the paper grain, which would be the bending test, folding test, or the spritzing with water test. And just remember, handmade paper does not generally have a grain, so you're safe with that. But good luck everybody, and enjoy making your handmade books, and thanks for watching my video. Bye bye.